So we have a new addition in the shop. It's one of my favorite tools right now. It's the xTool S1 laser engraver. This is an upgrade. We previously had another laser engraver. This is 40 watt. Our old one was 24 watt. So this one is more powerful. It also have a couple of other features which are kind of cool. Now, if you are curious about this model that I am showing here, I'll put a link in the description below and you can check it out. One of the biggest changes from the old unit is definitely this green cover. So for the old unit, we built this stand and we also built kind of an enclosure, primarily because when I first started using the old unit, I realized quickly that it was getting really, really smoky in here, like to the point where you couldn't be in here when it was going. So first created kind of a plastic tent situation, and then we built a Lexan kind of cover, which did work pretty good. And we had a hose connected to it and a dust collector. Now, the biggest difference is that that was clear. This has a green cover here, which means that you don't need to wear the glasses when you are running the machine. That means you can have the door open, people can come and go, anybody can walk in here as the machine is going. Whereas with the other unit, you know, you had to be like, okay, nobody comes in because I have the glasses on and I'm running the machine. So autofocus is really easy. So I got a little piece here. Let's say I want to find the autofocus. I put it wherever I want it. I move the laser so that we have the little cross right here in the center. Now we go to the software and we click this button here. Now it will go through the process, bring down the little pin, and now we are ready to engrave or cut this piece starting right here. And I have a little box right here. Let's close our lid, click proceed, start, push the button, and the machine starts working right from that point. And it's so quick, that was it. So now we open it up. And right on our X now we have our little mark. The other thing which I really like is that it has a fan built in here. So while the machine is running, it pushes the smoke, all the gases, all of that out. Right now, we got this hook to this hose, and the hose is just pointed outside. So when it's a sunny day like this, we have the garage door open, we can just bring it out and it funnels out any smoke, any fumes, anything like that. And then when it's not such a sunny day and the door is closed, then we connect it to the dust collection, which is on the wall right there. If you had a window or something, you could put that in, you know, that would work too. So let's do some cutting and produce some smoke. So the machine is starting. You can see the smoke coming out. So just finished, and it keeps going for a little bit. So that was without any additional fan. That was just a fan inside the machine that would force that smoke out. So in terms of assembly, this machine came pretty much assembled. There wasn't many parts to put together. If you compared that to the previous unit, that definitely required a bit more assembly. All the parts were not put together. This was really fast to get going. I think that's one of the things about laser engravers in general, is that there's a pretty short learning curve. There's not too many steps to figuring out what to do in order to get going and get cutting. So what do we have here? We have the main unit that comes with airs, and we have a couple of add-ons. We have the risers, which kind of brings up the whole machine a little bit, and that basically means you can engrave thicker things. So you can bring in a thicker piece of wood if you want. You have more flexibility. So now we open it up, and right on our X now we have our little mark. So it's easy to find exactly where you want to start cutting or engraving. So that was marking out flat surface. You can also map out a curved surface with the software. We tried engraving a spoon where it actually mapped out 12 different points. In other words, it recalculates the focus on every point, like on that curve, and then engraved on top of that, which is kind of cool. So that was a spoon that we did. Here is a hammer. So this is steel that you can engrave on as well. Obviously you can engrave wood very easily, but it's kind of cool to engrave your tools Another part of the software, which I think is very useful, is how you can mark a domain. Let's say we want to mark out exactly where we want to engrave. In this case, I got a chisel. Okay, so here is my chisel. I have some pieces here to kind of build it up so it's nice and sturdy. So first of all, we want to do a rectangle right here to determine what the area that we want to engrave in. So I go to the software. So I want to engrave Darbin Orvar in here, so I'm going to say start marking. What is the shape that we want to engrave? And we're going to engrave a rectangle, so we need to take 2 points here. So start marking, mark process area. So that is a good starting point. And then we're going to set the other point on the rectangle, and I'm going to put that right there. I hit the button again. End marking, done, and we have a rectangle on the screen. This is one thing that I think is a little frustrating about the software sometimes. It's a little hard to maneuver, but not too bad. Okay. So now we have this within the rectangle here, so that's where we will engrave. We have already set the height, so now we can start actually engraving. We get 100% power and 238 millimeters per second. Okay, so let's see what we got. But that is hard to see, so let's do it again and let's slow it down a bit. Okay, so now we have the speed at 200, let's put it to like 100. We don't have to set anything new because it's already been set, so we just rerun the same thing again, of course. And I always just like to let the fan operate after each cut, so any smoke, anything is just like removed. Just marked it out pretty good. Okay, so now we're doing another chisel. Works really nice. Because it is a 40-watt unit, it is faster than our old machine. I mean, in some ways I don't think that really matters too much because it's pretty quick as it is, but I suppose if you were doing production work, it would matter. I mean, it is really fast. So we got the additional honeycomb unit in here, like this panel, which is really cool, and it came with these clamps with these kind of strong magnets. The magnets are quite strong. Now I've got a piece of wood right here, and the problem is that it's not completely flat, right? So you want to bring it down. This part is the magnet, so we hook it down. Let's see, like right there. This is where it's actually connecting, and then it is. So now we are. So you can compare those guys to these clamps. These we used for our previous honeycomb panel. Now they work, however, you will kind of cut into them, and they're not as strong. And they don't have that kind of nice clicking mechanism with the magnet either. So I think the magnets are a little better. Our previous project, making these little alert boxes, for example, one of the things that I wanted was being able to open up the box and have access to the electronics even after it was closed. So we designed these little tiny wedges that go under the feet. So you can remove the wedges on the feet in order to disassemble the box or open up the box, and that worked out really good. But those things were tiny, and I don't know how you would have cut those in any other way, so it was really useful from that point of view. So cutting very precise things, cutting gears. This is a double crank mechanism, something we're working on, but you can see that there's like a lot of tiny little parts. And if you compare cutting something on the laser engraver here to cutting it on the CNC machine, like for example, let's see, here we have some gears that were cut on the CNC. This is MDF, here we got plywood, this is a little bit more chunky, bigger. Now these gears right here are cut on the laser engraver. So I mean, look at this, look how tiny. This is so small, and here you can read, you can put marks and notes, and it is just like a big difference to cutting things on the CNC. I mean, I don't even think you could cut something this small on the CNC. Bits would break, and it's just like not nearly as easy. So obviously you can cut wood, you can engrave stuff on metal. I was kind of curious, can you clean money?
Yeah. So we got the two sides that weren't done, and the two sides that were done.
Actually managed to really burn a Canadian coin here, so you have to be careful not to do it too much, or you're gonna kind of melt it. But if you have the right settings, you can clean up the coins pretty good. Use Canadian money for that. Of course, there's a lot of other things you can engrave that I haven't really tried, but those are primarily the things that I'm interested in. This old unit also has a couple of safety features. For example, if it is running and then you open up the lid, it will automatically shut down. It has a 360 degrees flame safety detection. I think in general though, my favorite parts about this unit is the cover, how it means that nobody has to wear glasses, and the fact that there's a fan inside there that forces the smoke and the gases out. This makes it, the whole thing, a little bit neater and a little bit cleaner. So in general, this has been a pretty nice upgrade from the previous model. Although when it really comes down to it, in terms of what it can do, in terms of the cutting, I don't think there's much difference. I mean, this unit cuts just as well as that unit cut. It is safer and it is a little easier to focus and set the area, so to operate the unit becomes a little bit easier. But in the end, they do the same job, right? Now, one of the differences is the software. So for our old unit, we used Lightburn for operating the machine. However, kept using Aspire by Vectric for designing. That's the software that we use here. I love that software. Use it for CNC work. It's really great for design work. I'll put a link in the description to that software. And that's the software we keep using for designing and then exporting an SVG file, and then now bringing it into this xTool software. I don't know, there's parts of that software which I find a little bit frustrating to use. In some ways it is really good, and you can do things like autofocus and set the area very well. There's some things that are a little finicky though. If you are curious about this unit, you can check out the link in the description below. And right now, xTool here actually is having a trade-in event. So if you have, I'll put more details about it in the description below. But if you already have a machine from a couple of specific brands and you want to trade it in, then you can get, I think it's a $500 amount towards one of their machines, which is a pretty big deal. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you guys soon.